Foster needs a big game.
One of the best young teams in the country. Jonathan Holmes, the only junior in this group. Javon Felix is back after missing the TCU game with concussion-like syndrome. Kansas State, it starts with Thomas Gibson in the middle. He had a career-high 24 against the Horns in Austin. This is not a big team, Reed, and yet Texas has been so good at defending the rim in their 7-game winning streak.
Well, and Texas so good rebounding, but Mitch, in their first meeting, they did not out-rebound Kansas State, and they didn't out-rebound them on the offensive glass. That is a key for the Texas Longhorns, is to dominate the offensive glass.
Gerry Pollard tosses it up, and Texas will have the first possession.
A great matchup. DeMarcus Collin being guarded by Spradling, but Foster guarding Isaiah Taylor. Freshman on freshman.
And Taylor has been outstanding in this 7-game winning streak, and Holmes immediately scores for Texas.
And speaking of being outstanding during the 7-game winning streak, Jonathan Holmes playing as well as anybody in the Big 12.
Had one of the biggest double-doubles of the year when he had 20 points and 16 rebounds during the midweek win at TCU.
Early in the year, Texas was not defending like we would expect from a Rick Barnes team, and as the conference has gone on, they have gotten better and better, and they are tough to score on in the half court.
Shot rolls off. Good defense by Texas. It has been a staple of Rick Barnes for years. They've always been one of the best teams in the nation in field goal percentage defense. This year is no different.
Well, that was a good look. Cameron Ridley was wide open on an alley-oop.
And Southwell takes it away from his own player. Held ball. It'll go to K-State. Rick Barnes. Last year, the first year he didn't make the NCAA tournament in 17 years. His 16th year as the coach at University of Texas. And for Bruce Weber, he's been coach of the year in 3 different leagues. Missouri Valley with Southern Illinois. Illinois, of course, he took them all the way to the national championship game. And here last year, he's the reigning Big 12 coach of the year.
And he's trying to right a ship. It's not accurate to say the Wildcats are in a tailspin, but they've lost 3 out of 4. They've been close games. You just can't afford to lose 4 out of 5, but it's easy to do in this conference, Mitch. We saw Iowa State do it. We've seen Oklahoma State do it, and that is a big basket from Marcus Foster to get the Wildcats on the board.
Particularly since he's only been 4 of his last 14 prior to that. K-State has numbers here. Awandu, Foster again.
Whether it's intentional or not, but somebody different has been on Isaiah Taylor all 3 trips down the floor. Marcus Foster, the leading scorer for Kansas State, can score a lot of ways. He is good spotting up on the catch and shoot. He's very good at moving without the ball and is good in transition off the dribble. He is an outstanding player out of Wichita Falls, Texas.
He can explode. He had 23 at West Virginia. 3 times this year he's had 20 or more. Ridley.
Mismatch favor Kansas State down inside with Javon Felix on Southwell.
Foster forces that one out of rhythm. He is 5th in the league in 3-point makes. Harlan wasn't even close with that. Been so consistent defensively. And here's Foster. Until then, I didn't know if K-State would get anything at the rim at all today. Foster's got all 8 K-State points.
Boy, if you're guarding Marcus Foster, you better know where the ball is, and you better know where he is, because if you turn the back of your head to him, he is going to the rim. What a beautiful cut by Marcus Foster.
A parade All-American coming out of Wichita Falls, Texas, and a good get for Bruce Weber in this stand. Spradling pokes it out.
Texas has been so good during this streak, taking care of the ball, and uncharacteristically, 3 turnovers already to start this game.
K-State off reversal, and Wandu, and Holmes catches it last.
Marcus Foster at the top of your screen. You see Javon Fleeks has no idea where he is. Boy, what an athletic kid.
Marcus Foster has all 8 K-State points. And let's take a look now at our Ally play of the game, brought to you by Ally Bank. Your money needs an ally.
You look at Javon Fleeks down there in the middle of your screen and look where his eyes are. He's looking at the ball, has no idea where Marcus Foster is. And if you don't know where the guy you're guarding is, there's a good chance he's at the rim. Beautiful pass from Wandu. And that is a nice basket. What a great start for Kansas State to this basketball game.
And a freshman to a freshman to set that play up. Texas with too many turnovers early. DJ Johnson runs the floor.
About now 5 turnovers for the Longhorns in the first 5 minutes of this game.
And it's been one of the biggest areas of improvement from last year to this year. They had 500 turnovers last year. It's way down this year, down 2 a game at least. But not today so far. Somebody's got a pull here. Texas has lost the shot clock. Ridley just in time. Numbers. Foster. Unanswered. Kansas State points.
Great defense.
Taylor rescues a turnover.
Well, DJ Johnson is doing a great job on Jonathan Holmes.
Ridley trying to get the stick back. Dunk, and he does that. Outstanding rebounding team.
Let me tell you something. That last possession was as good a team defense as you could play. They trapped him on the ball screen. DJ Johnson rotated on the backside. Well, that was outstanding by the Wildcats.
What does Wisconsin's Bo Ryan say, though? Defense without rebounding is no defense at all. And Holland was able to get the dunk follow. Ridley got the dunk follow. But Spradling hits the 3.
Wow. Cannot imagine a better start to a basketball game than we're seeing right now by Kansas State.
What is K-State doing to them, though? Because Texas is usually so good defensively.
Well, they're just kind of punching them in the mouth down here when they're on the defensive end. And this is a team that has struggled all year long scoring points and shooting the ball at a high percentage. But Bruce Weber's team has not struggled defensively. They are at first, second, or third in almost every defensive statistical category. And it is amazing. You just look at these offensive numbers and you think, you know, what if they were just average? You know, what if they were ranked, you know, 4th or 5th in the Big 12? You wonder what that record would be like. It's 7 and, you know, it is amazing how well they have done without being able to score the ball.
Close road loss at Austin, close road loss at Ames. Fleeks, Horns needed that one. Somebody's got to get going for Texas. And better transition defense this time for Rick Barnes. Lambert's hurt. Connor Lambert off the bench with the defense, and he's ailing some.
Isaiah Taylor is so difficult to keep out of the paint, and right now that is exactly what Kansas State is doing.
Nigel Johnson on him. Bad pass by Isaiah Taylor. Spradlin, his second three, and Kansas State is blowing out Texas in the first 8 minutes of the game.
Well, I keep looking down expecting a timeout.
Felix, good take. Javon Felix gets his first 2 of the game.
Kansas State's trying to play a push down, or ice they call it, on the ball screens. Nino Williams was defending the screener and did not communicate, did not get in position. Easy shot for Javon Felix. Save that.
Quick shot missed. Gibson, no, trying to work underneath. Will Spradlin has struggled this year from 3, but he has hit 9 of his last 15, and Kansas State's on fire.
Kansas State off to a sizzling start, up by 12 early in the first half, and they're doing it with three-point shooting. Statistically, the worst three-point shooting team in the Big 12 has come out and has just landed a haymaker on the Longhorns. 4 of 6 from behind the line. Almost half of their field goal attempts have been from the three-point line. 2 by Spradlin, 2 by Foster, and boy, you talk about a sizzling start for Will Spradlin and his teammates.
Again, he has struggled shooting it this year up until the last couple of games. Kansas State, though, from 3, Reed and Austin, was 4 of 16 in that three-point loss from three-point range.
They have program on the monitor.
So K-State's hit as many threes in this game as they did the entire game in Austin.
An adjustment by Texas to come out of that timeout in a 2-3 zone. Really got to extend.
And some of this might be with the guys that are on the floor for K-State. Nigel Johnson, also Maury Lawrence, not shooters, but Spradlin we know is.
Ooh, big rebound by Cameron Ridley.
Ridley just bigger than everybody else, so a good move by Rick Barnes to go to the zone.
Just 1 offensive rebound so far for the Longhorns.
And in Austin, they had 14 of them that led to 15 points for the Texas Longhorns. Bad shot by Omari Lawrence.
Good hustle.
And a foul on Nigel Johnson of K-State. Tom Eades has the call.
You know, if you're Texas, during that timeout, if Rick can get his guys to settle down, he says statistically they're not going to keep making shots like this the whole game. Withstand this punch. Let's get back to our game. Let's stop the careless turnovers, and they can get back in this game pretty quick.
Well, let me flip it as we go across the timeline. What is K-State doing to them defensively? Because Texas has had a struggle here.
It's right here. It's right here in front of us. It's Foster on Isaiah Taylor, and it's the inability of Isaiah Taylor to get to the paint. And Mitch, I've not seen any team keep Isaiah Taylor out of the paint this year. And right now, Kansas State's doing a great job of it.
K-State buying some bench minutes now with Nino Williams at the 4. And putting Lawrence at the 3, trying to keep guys fresh.
Texas back in a man-to-man.
Question is, who will score out of this lineup for K-State? Might be Williams. Jonathan Holmes showing some fatigue as he'll be called for the foul. They play basket pong at Phillips 66 for a chance to win prizes instantly and shoot for $66,000. Phillips 66 proud to be here. They've changed the foul to Cameron Ridley. Although Holmes was also in the neighborhood, it'll be 2 shots.
I don't know about that. Cameron Ridley came over the back, had clear separation, and pinned that ball. It was a clean block. Now, somebody may have reached in before that, but I sure didn't see Cameron Ridley even have his body close enough to foul him.
There's Ridley, so improved. In so much better shape this year. Williams has been good at the line for K-State. He's hit 9 of his last 11 foul shots.
No, let it go. We're fine. Marcus Foster fell down guarding Javon Felix, and you think Javon Felix would recognize that and attack the basket. Instead, he just handed the ball off to a teammate. Well, if somebody's laying on the ground, you need to make them pay for it and attack. Nick's team has come out a little flat to start this basketball game.
A little tentative on the offensive end, would you say? It's not the way they played in the 7-game winning streak.
I'll tell you what, Bruce Weber's team came out ready to play basketball.
Lambert gives him a 3. Connor Lambert off the bench to get him a 3. He's only 28% all year from there, and only his 8th made 3.
Doesn't shoot that shot enough. He doesn't look for it. He struggled a little bit with his percentages and has gone away from him. He is a classic stretch 4.
Ridley destroys the shot from Gibson. But a hustle play by K-State to get it back, and a foul on Kendall Yancey of Texas.
Cameron Ridley doing a nice job just playing belly-up defense and the ability to wait until Thomas Gibson leaves the floor before he goes up. The best shot blocker in the Big 12 this year, Cameron Ridley.
I'm not sure there's been a better team defending at the rim than Texas in the country in this 7-game winning streak. Ridley's had 6 blocks twice.
And Prince Ebay coming off the bench has that same capability, and Lambert's got length down there, and Holmes blocks shots. I think I agree with that.
Here's your zone, and Williams finds the honey spot. Nino Williams in the land of milk and honey, and K-State leads 22-9.
Texas much better scoring points, and they are more efficient and they are more fluid when it's in transition as opposed to coming down and setting up, and that is what Kansas State is forcing them to do.
Foster, what a half. 13 for Marcus Foster. Texas, a break off the make and a foul by Spradlin.
Now Marcus Foster is making up for the game that he had in Austin. He is off to an outstanding start shooting that basketball.
Now this from Phillips, 66. Kansas State leading 25-9, but Bruce Weber and his team had a heartbreak loss in Austin when Jonathan Holmes hit this shot with microseconds.
1.9 second, a tie basketball game, sideline out of bounds. Jonathan Holmes only had 8 points in this game, but boy, you talk about a buzzer beater, a huge shot for Jonathan Holmes. You know, those kind of endings stick with kids. And, you know, I think about Marcus Foster from Wichita Falls, Texas. I think about Thomas Gibson from Cedar Hill, Texas. And I tell you what, they have come out, and you talk about changing the tone of a basketball contest. They are dominating the Longhorns right now.
Wesley Owandu from Houston Westfield. Tie up. Spradling ties up eBay. And Texas will have the arrow. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Puerto Rico Tourism Company. Live your own star vacation story. Puerto Rico, the all-star island. Visit seapuertorico.com. Again, seapuertorico.com. I'm surprised Texas hasn't had more at the rim in this game.
More offensive rebounds, just one offensive rebound. That last shot went up, and there were 8 players in the paint.
Taylor, quick. And And there's an offensive rebound. Lambert gets it off the tip from eBay.
Well, listen, that's a good offensive rebounding effort by Curry Lambert, but all of the gray jerseys down there on the defensive glass, that shot's going up, and Bruce Weber's got 4 guys crashing the boards, and it is crowded down in there when the ball comes off the glass.
They were working on it yesterday in practice throughout the afternoon.
Well, everybody's got to box out against Texas. DeMarcus Holland rebounds as well as Jonathan Holmes, and so you've got to box out at 4 spots on the floor.
This is not a big K-State team. In fact, the league, other than Texas, Kansas, and Baylor, there's really not a lot of size at the rim in this league. Holland, this would be big. DeMarcus Holland gets his 12th three of the year, and he only shoots 27% from out there. Usually a defender and rebounder. So Texas Reed is sitting on 12 points, and 3 of them have been from Lambert on the 3, and 3 from Holland on the 3. Wandu challenging eBay and finishing.
Well, I'm not sure how that shot got past Prince eBay.
Texas blocked 12 Kansas shots in Austin. Felix in rhythm. Williams runs the floor. Bruce Weber unhappy, and now a foul on Kansas State on the shot by Taylor. And Bruce Weber's all over Tom Eades.
He's got a right to be. There was a tremendous amount of contact down there on the other end of the floor. And coming back this way, the fans don't like it. That a similar amount of contact, and I think Wesley Wandu was just making up for this play. Watch the contact down here on Nino Williams. I mean, he got pounded with the ball in the air. Bruce Weber's got a valid point and a justification for being irate.
And it's a second foul on Wesley Wandu on the other end, plus it puts Texas in the 1-and-1. But this would be 2 shots for Taylor.
But, you know, Wandu did that almost out of frustration. And I'm not sure that he should take that foul right now. The team's playing so well. The last thing you want to do is take somebody who's struggling offensively, let him stand at the free throw line and see the ball go through the hoop and then suddenly maybe get some momentum going. That was a bad foul.
A freshman mistake by Wandu, and here's Isaiah Taylor, who is 21 of his last 23 at the line. And what about the upside of Isaiah Taylor? How good can he be?
I'll tell you what, he has been, you talk about a pleasant surprise. Well, he was off everybody's radar screen, playing as well as any freshman in the conference.
K-State's biggest lead has been 16.
Yeah.
Foster is unconscious.
Boy, he stepped back on Cameron Ridley just as smooth and as effortless as you could possibly imagine. Man, is he on fire.
He is melting the snow in Manhattan and Wichita Falls, Texas. 15 first-half points for Marcus Foster.
That is a terrible pass.
And an unaccustomed turnover. K-State's going to turn it over.
Here's Marcus Foster, comes off an on-the-ball screen, gets a switch. Watch him jab into Cameron Ridley and then step back. Jabs in, steps back, and that is a big shot.
Isaiah Taylor came into this game. The turnovers, he came in with 80 assists and just 53 turnovers. Today, though, he's had some rough ones.
The last 7 games, he's not just averaging 2 turnovers. He's only had 2 turnovers in each of the last 7 games.
Texas has turned it over 7 times. K-State has 1 turnover in the first half. Ridley's just the biggest kid in the park, but then he throws it away. Turnover's a big problem. Lawrence stays with it. Rick Barnes calls timeout. 31-14 K-State. Reed, it's the biggest lead for Bruce Weber's team.
Cameron Ridley gets a good rebound, goes over the back, but not on the back, but then he panics. Look at that pivot foot. He actually traveled before he threw that away, and he allowed the big, thick body of DJ Johnson to get up and into him, and instead of establishing his position, he just makes a bad pass, and what is just turnover after turnover after turnover here in the first half for the Longhorns, and I tell you what, Kansas State is making them pay.
And this has not been Texas's MO this year. Again, last year, it really bothered Rick Barnes in the offseason. 500 turnovers, their most in 11 years, Reed. I went and looked it up. And this year, it's been different. But today, they're showing their youth a little bit.
Well, they're not being tough with the basketball. They're getting knocked off the ball. They're getting out physical. They're getting out toughed. And that is something that Rick Barnes is not going to be happy with. Isaiah Taylor comes off an on-the-ball screen, gets double-teamed, and does just kind of a casual flip behind the head. And that's not going to get it against Kansas State.
K-State with 13 points off turnovers. Texas with none. Of course, only one K-State turnover.
A 17-point lead and 13 points off turnovers. There's your first half.
Another turnover. And a foul now on Isaiah Taylor to prevent an easy two at the other end.
A poor passing angle. Texas trying to get the ball into Cameron Ridley, and DJ Johnson doing a nice job matching strength for strength. And boy, the turnovers have just been unbelievable.
But it's been a defensive clinic for Bruce Weber's team. And Bruce has been a defensive coach ever since he spent 19 years with Gene Cady at Purdue as his top assistant. The best scoring defense in the Big 12. They're 22nd in the country. Foster's putting on a show.
He runs an Allen Iverson cut, which is across the elbows. He catches the ball, does a reverse pivot, and then gets an on-the-ball screen, and he is getting any shot that he wants right now.
He also got hit on that shot. He wants to come out of the game. He has told Bruce Weber he wants to come out, so he took a shot on that last bucket.
If I was Bruce, I'd say, no, you look good. You look good to me. Shake it off.
That's what Guy Lewis said to you.
Good pass.
DJ Johnson hammered down low by Javon Felix. What a half for Kansas State. Maybe their best 17 minutes of the year. They have hit Texas with the right-left combination.
Coming up in the Studio 66 halftime report, Brendan Manzer will break down this Kansas State defense, which is darn good. We'll have our top 25 roundup. Florida wins again at home, 29 in a row. And we'll look ahead to tonight's Big 12 action. Reed and Mitch, back to you.
All right, Doug and Brendan, Kansas State has had a brilliant first 17 minutes and more issues. You see Jonathan Holmes. Reed, we've been told that he has a right knee injury. He will not play the remainder of the half. He'll be evaluated at halftime.
Well, that is a big blow, obviously, for the Texas Longhorns. Jonathan Holmes averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds. He has been as good as anybody. The last 2 games, he's averaging a double-double, 21 points and 10 rebounds.
At times, he's just been dominant. He might have saved him at TCU the other night with those 16 rebounds.
No, it wouldn't might have. He did.
DJ Johnson's 43% at the line.
And he knee, Mitch. Well, Marcus Foster's over there getting his knee taped.
See, he got hit on that Iverson cut and wanted to come out of the game. I think he ran into Ridley. Excellent feed. Traveling Cameron Ridley, and the turnovers continue to mount for the Longhorns.
It is now 10 turnovers in the first half. Cameron Ridley brought that ball down below his waist. If he'd have kept it up around his shoulders and just gone up, had a different outcome.
Texas back in the zone with Foster out. K-State up 21 points in the first half.
Sorry, Mitch. The lowest scoring half of the Longhorns this year is 20 points. That looks in jeopardy.
Croker can't convert on the break.
One-on-threes are rarely a good idea.
Here's the thing with the zone, up 21, you want to stay aggressive, but you have a chance to run some clock here and get the shot you want. But who's going to score in this group? Spradling would be your leading candidate. Or Neil Williams under the basket.
Terrific high-low pass from Amari Lawrence.
This is stunning, Reed. This is one of the best halves I've seen all year from anybody in this league.
Texas just not doing anything very well. They continue to throw the ball away. They're screening space. They're not actually putting their bodies on people. They're running up. Cameron Ridley runs up, and instead of making contact, he just kind of stops and says, here, come use the screen. The ball handlers are taking off before the screens get there, and boy, just this Kansas State defense has taken the Longhorns completely out of sync.
Foster is back. So Foster visiting the cut doctor now back in the free throw lane. Prince Ebay will go to the line. 52%, but that's a little bit misleading. He's up 12 percentage points in the last 10 games, and he banks it in. Texas will take anything right now. Well, what a complete half for Bruce Weber's team. Texas stays in the zone.
Yes, I do.
But now Foster's out there, so the Longhorns cannot lose where he's at. Williams, second time he's gone to that honey spot in the zone read and found that high shot at the elbow.
.3-point lead.
Deep catch, Ebay, but no finish gets him there.
Here's what I was talking about 2 possessions ago. Watch Cameron Ridley come out and just kind of screen space. He's down in the middle of your screen. Watch him come out, and he doesn't really screen Spradling. He just kind of runs out there, stands there a little while, and then leaves. You got to go out there and pop your feet, and you've got to put your body on somebody if you're going to get your offense going.
Williams, Ridley, and Ebay protecting the rim. They lead the league in block shots. They're 7th in the country in that category. 7th in the nation in that category. Here, Texas needs a bucket.
Spradling doing a great job down on that baseline. He's chasing DeMarcus Croker over staggered screens, and then at the last second wraps his arm around him and played great defense for about 30 seconds and bailed him out at the end.
Bruce Weber's got his use it or lose it. Let's take a look at the Big 12 standings. Texas, with that win over Kansas in Austin when they blew out the Jayhawks, made it interesting. They're a game behind KU, but right now, K-State trying to get a resume-building win.
You look at all these teams, and what surprised you, you continue to be surprised by seeing Baylor down there at 2-7. But how about West Virginia? You know, suddenly nobody's looking, and Bob Huggins' team is beating people on the road. They're beating people at home, and I tell you what, they have really been playing outstanding basketball. Those 3 guards, boy, it is tough to defend Staten Harris and Henderson.
Well, let's talk about Jawan State. I had it. They got the heartbreaking loss to Oklahoma State. They got beat at the buzzer in that game at home, but Staten at times can be dominant as a 6-foot guard on both ends of the floor.
Right now, tell me who the Big 12 player of the year is.
I'm going to say because Kansas leads the league, I would give it to Joel Embiid. Because I think with him off the floor, they're a different team.
I would respectfully disagree. No, I agree with your rationale. I just disagree with your selection.
And you're going with?
Jawan Staten. And number 2 might be...
Can I give your Twitter handle right now so everybody can...
No, you may not.
But I'm going to tell you, he's a special player.
DeAndre Kane may be number 2 on my ballot.
And the thing about... Well, I'm going to argue there. That Jawan Staten is so powerful. as an athlete and plays this game like an NFL defensive back. He's really lifted West Virginia. Interesting to see what they'll do in Lawrence today. And here's a 1-3-1 by Texas at the end of the half. An extended 1-3-1 at 47 feet. K-State might have had their best chance to attack. Nigel Johnson. Oh my, what he was doing. The freshman from Ashburn, Virginia.
Maybe the only bad thing Kansas State did the entire half. And Bruce Weber's kind of laughing, walking off going, oh my goodness, what was that?
Foster had a look and turned it down. But that's been all that's gone wrong for K-State. A terrific first 20 for Bruce Weber. They're up by 23. Welcome back to Manhattan, Kansas. Big 12 basketball presented by Phillips 66. Kansas State with one of the best halves by any Big 12 team this year, leading Texas by 21. Texas has won 7 in a row. Marcus Foster has been the show.
You know, as good as Kansas State was defensively, they were even better offensively. And Marcus, you know, we thought that Marcus Foster needed to have a big game to give his teammates a chance to win this basketball game. And let's just say he had a very good first half. 17 points, 7 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 4 from behind the line, but got shots a variety of ways. Off lobs, off spot-ups, in transition, dribble attack, catch and shoot. And I'll tell you what, Marcus Foster was the story in the first half.
Let's go to our Papa John's first half stats. The inside points is what gets your attention, but the turnovers for Texas were 10 of them. Kansas State.
Yeah, and leading to points off turnovers 15-0. And the worst three-point shooting team in the Big 12 shot 71% from behind the line in the first half.
Injury update. Jonathan Holmes is out for the game. The Longhorns have lost Holmes to a right knee injury. And Rick Barnes has decided to shut him down for the rest of the game. So the Longhorns are going to have to try to rally big time without a guy that gives them 14 points and 8 rebounds. Ridley with another deflected play. Spradlin jumped in front of DeMarcus Holland, and Will Spradlin has 3 fouls.
So that's a freedom of movement call, and it's the right call. Will Spradlin jumped up and chucked the cutter as he was trying to come over the top of that screen, and that has been a foul all year long.
And how does Texas now try to account for the loss of Holmes? Where can they go?
They've got to go inside to Cameron Ridley, but right now they just need a spark. You know, they need something to go right. They need an emotional lift.
Connor Lambert misses a tip in. Wesley Owandu dunks at the other end.
Tell you what, that was a great play by Owandu, but he's lucky he didn't get a delay of game. He caught that ball and stood there and posed a little bit, and I'm surprised that went unnoticed.
Particularly with Gerry, Pollard, and Tom Eades working this game. 2 no-nonsense guys.
And Kansas State is switching and rotating, and Texas doing nothing to attack. Right now, Kansas State is dominating this basketball game.
Lambert, big 3. He had 1 in the first half. Only 9 all year for Connor Lambert from 3.
If you're looking for unexpected points with Jonathan Holmes on the bench, Connor Lambert has that potential.
And Owandu aggressive. Marcus Foster gets a lot of attention, and well, he should. And look at Jonathan Holmes. Again, his right knee injury is done for the day for the Longhorns. But Owandu, we talked about upside for a guy like Isaiah Taylor in Texas. What's the upside for a guy like Wesley Owandu?
Yeah, it's off the charts. 1 of 5 freshmen with multiple double-doubles this year. He's got 2 of them. He joins Joel Embiid, Devin Williams at West Virginia, who, by the way, we don't talk enough about. Andrew Wiggins, Kavar Shepard. That's pretty nice company for Wesley.
Owandu hit them both, 65% at the line. He's had some big games when needed. He had 13 against Gonzaga in a game that put K-State on the map.
Gibson, one of the few players in the conference strong enough to to withstand that left shoulder of Cameron Ridley and not get cleared out.
Foster is cooled off, and Gibson gets a foul.
Watch Thomas Gibson belly up. Cameron Ridley lowers that left shoulder, and Gibson just doesn't give. And there aren't many guys in the conference, or maybe even in the country, that have the upper body strength and the width to withstand that blow.
That's a physics lesson when those two slam away at each other. They're going to do it again right here.
That is a lesson for the little fellas. Stay out of there. Do not get caught in between these two.
Walk. Texas is trying to enter the post.
Well, he walked before he double dribbled. And he caught that ball dribbled and stepped through, and Texas making a concerted effort. Rick Barnes trying to see if he can get some offense going inside the paint. Well, they had a lot of paint touches in the first half. They had 17 touches and just 2 points off of those touches.
K-State crushed them in points in the paint. Speaking of crush, Ridley swats it to the band.
It was 16-2 points in the paint for Kansas State. They had 22 touches converted on 16 points. And surprisingly, Mitch, out of those 22 touches, only 2 of them were from Thomas Gibson. Just an opposite basketball game from when these teams met the first time in Austin.
This Texas zone has bothered K-State some. It particularly did at the end of the half. 8 to shoot. K-State can't lose track of the clock. Southwell hasn't scored yet today. Foster has.
The unselfishness of Shane Southwell.
Bucket. Isaiah Taylor, contact and no call. Nigel Johnson at least hits rim on this one. But he has struggled offensively, getting minutes. Part of the DC Assault AAU program, and there's an offensive foul. Taylor gets it this time. It was contact the last time he had the ball.
Well, terrific job of Nigel Johnson moving his feet. That is a good call. Your feet, dude, when you're defending the ball, your feet don't have to be set. You can draw a charge moving backwards or moving at an angle. What you can't do is move forward. And a little bit of frustration that time by Isaiah Taylor over penetrating.
Johnson turns the corner. 5 to shoot. Good job by the Longhorns defensively. Texas will have it, but K-State still leads by 22. The Wildcats owning the horns here in Manhattan. Now this from Phillips 66. I don't know, you got an idea there? Anyway, this is sprees and screens throughout the Big 12 because this was expected to be a good game, and Kansas State has just absolutely obliterated Texas.
I don't think Bruce Weber is going to be happy their last couple of possessions. They were settling for jump shots they don't need to settle for. And Texas going inside and just can't finish.
Lammert with the foul. Texas is trying to get it inside. Yeah, they just cannot get it finished in there.
The problem for Bruce Weber's team is when you make a couple of three-pointers, you think you can make a couple of three-pointers. Yeah, they don't need to fall in love with that three-point shot and be misled by the 5 for 7. That's what they need to do.
Taylor in an and-one opportunity. Going right to the rim, and Taylor's got 6.
Nobody in this conference, maybe nobody in this country, finishes better in transition with their offhand than Isaiah Taylor. He is better with his left hand than his right hand, and this is where he's at his best. And that's what Kansas State has done such an outstanding job in this basketball game of doing, is preventing Isaiah Taylor from getting out on breaks in transition.
And Texas finally gets a 3-point play and really a 5-point swing because Awandu had one of his better looks and couldn't finish on the other end.
A tough matchup for Connor Lambert on Southwell.
First basket of the game for Shane Southwell. He was only 1 of 6 from 3 against Texas. He gets that 2. In the game in Austin, he didn't have much until the end, and he gave him a chance to win at the end, but that's his first 2 of this game.
Southwell's skill and versatility and his unselfishness, he just makes everybody on the floor better. Sometimes I think he's too unselfish. Sometimes you need to redefine selfishness. You think, oh, because I pass all the time, I'm unselfish. And sometimes your teammates need you to score. The most unselfish thing you can do is look for your shot. And I think Shane Southwell should look for his shot more. Reminds me a lot of a thinner Rodney McCray, you know, kind of the point forward position, can do everything on the floor. He's more explosive than Rodney McCray was, but I think Shane Southwell should look to score more than he does. Averages 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists.
And has the ability to explode. He had 21 in the win against George Washington and then 23 at West Virginia. And to your point, he's a matchup problem for most teams. Texas getting some production of Isaiah Taylor.
I mean, how many guys, talking about Shane Southwell, how many players lead their team in assists and block shots? And how's that for versatility?
Kansas State so much better today. Points off assists. 63% off the pass.
Texas trying everything they can do to change the tempo of this game. The 1-3-1 we saw right at the end of the first half. They ran at that time, actually forced a turnover, and they're getting out and running. They've got a little bit going here. This is a possession that if Texas can score, maybe they get a little momentum and start believing.
Javon Thomas is on the floor. Of course, he's had a lot of minutes since he became eligible, but today he has been watching until now. But he's a very good defender and great with the ball going to the rim. Foster, his day. 22 points for Marcus Foster. He's closing in on a career high.
And that was a nice job attacking the 1-3-1. A 1-3-1 half-court trap where you're susceptible are diagonal passes down to the baseline. Marcus Foster running down the left side of the court. You see him pass the ball and goes down there and nice basket. That was Thomas that passed the ball initially, but went and found the sweet spot against the 1-3-1. That's a difficult coverage. Whoever's on the baseline of a 1-3-1 has to cover corner to corner. So when the ball's on the right side of the court, he's on the right side of the basket, and then the diagonal pass, it is very difficult to get out there and close out, especially on a dynamic shooter like Marcus Foster.
And Rito and I ask you, I've always been intrigued by the 1-3-1. Do you put a little at the bottom of it, or do you put a big? Because I've seen teams do both.
Yeah, my opinion is you put your most athletic defender, somebody that can get out there. He may be little, he may be big, but you've got to have somebody that literally can defend from corner to corner.
Eimert's actually helped Texas here with 8 points for the Longhorns, but K-State still in control by 20. 7 minutes into the second half.
There's the 1-3-1 again.
Foster. And Taylor takes it away and gets the bucket. Wandu trying to find a shooter. Williams. And Taylor trying to do it on his own, Reed. Timeout, Kansas State. As close as the Longhorns have been in a while.
It started down on the defensive end, but signs of life from the Longhorns in Manhattan.
K-State led by as many as 24. The Longhorns have got it to 16 with 12:13 to go in the game. Play basket pong at Phillips 66 for a chance to win prizes instantly and shoot for $66,000. Phillips 66, proud to be here. And Isaiah Taylor now with 13, trying to bring it back by himself.
No field goals in the first half. Those were both free throws to go along with 0 assists and 3 turnovers. Just a miserable first half for Isaiah Taylor. But boy, he has been a completely different player, more aggressive in getting to the paint here in the second half.
Now he sits for a while. This 1-3-1, the top of the zone, has bothered K-State the last 2 possessions.
DeMarcus Holland down there to the left of your screen running the baseline. The other difficult thing about a 1-3-1, you see Connor Lammert, and then over on the other side, Martez Walker. When the ball reverses sides, Connor Lammert's got to dive down inside of the offensive player. That's a lot of ground to cover for Connor Lammert.
Texas continues to run and jump these perimeter passes at the top. But you find him on the stick. Career high, tied for Marcus Foster at 25. K-State gives Texas some of its own medicine at the rim. Wandu sets up Foster, 27. Rick Barnes wants timeout. K-State jumps back on top by 21.
The entire afternoon has been Marcus Foster. You just simply cannot run off and leave him. Knocks down another 3 on a catch. Look at him get ready to shoot that ball. And then a beautiful pass in transition from Wandu. Does such a nice job of drawing the defense and then peeling off so that there's no charge. And boy, Manhattan faithful and Marcus Foster doing their best to put an end to any hopes of a rally by the Longhorns.
Foster's 5th in the league in three-point makes, but coming in, he was just 4 of his last 14. But I want to ask you about his feet beating the ball in getting set up for the shot. It seems like his feet are getting there before the catch. He's ready to shoot.
Well, and he's stepping into it. You see the ball's in the air, and he's stepping towards it. He has his hands ready. So that's catching a ball shot ready, as opposed to catching it, then squaring up and getting your feet. He's stepping into his shot while the ball's in the air. That makes such a quick release that when you're trapping down in the left corner, you're never going to be able to recover for that diagonal pass.
Foster fouls Holland on the way to the basket. Second foul on Foster. Kansas State's Marcus Foster, a career-high 27, one of a great group of freshmen in this league. The tilt is back with Reed Gettison, Manhattan, Kansas, 55-34 K-State. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Puerto Rico Tourism Company. Live your own star vacation story. Puerto Rico, the all-star island. Visit cpuertorico.com. It's been cmarcusfoster.com in this game. A career-high 27 for the K-State freshman from Wichita Falls, Texas.
And C points off turnovers, plus 20 for Kansas State.
That's only the 11th and 12th points in the paint for Texas. K-State has 22.
Texas back to a 2-3 zone. Tough for Javon Fleets down there on the bottom side of that 2-3 zone at 5'11".
Again, Jonathan Holmes, if you joined us late, injured his right knee in the first half. Only 2 points and out for the game with 10:26 to go. Rare mistake by Foster. And here comes Taylor. frustration foul, Prince eBay.
Kansas State seems to be the last 7 or 8 minutes taking the shots that Texas wants them to take as opposed to the ones they want. With the exception of Marcus Foster's three-point bucket, they seem to be allowing Texas to dictate the tempo, and they didn't do that in the first half.
And now this trap bothers K-State. They extend the defense.
Boy, 3 point-blank shots at the rim.
It's been that kind of day for Texas, and this kind of day for K-State. Owandu's got 8.
Owandu finishes through a double team with a spin move. Texas misses a layup and 2 tip-ins.
And Felix a toe on the line. He only has 4. Ridley only has 4. Hollins only got 3. And, of course, Holmes setting down with his injury only had 2.
Now the 2-3 zone. DeMarcus Holland is down there on the backside instead of Javon Felix.
But they leave Spradling an open look on the skip. 3 threes for Spradling. Williams with the foul.
Wesley Owandu, look at this spin move. Plants that foot and drop steps, and that is beautiful. And then Will Spradlin left alone. Look at him. There's that diagonal pass again. And he catches it, shot ready, and buries it. Boy, they have been good offensively. You know, and as good as Marcus Foster's been, Will Spradling's had an outstanding afternoon shooting that basketball.
And again, prepared to shoot before the pass arrived. But K-State's had the ability to skip the zone. They've skipped it now twice to get good looks after struggling prior to that. And Gerry Pollard wants to go to the monitor.
They're going to make sure who's shooting the free throws. It's Cameron Ridley. He was shoved by Gibson down there on the left side of the basket, but this is what the officials should do. If there's a question as to who the proper free throw shooter is, you just go to the monitor and confirm it.
So look at Javon Felix. Again, this Texas team, no seniors, only 1 junior. 7 wins in a row, and in that 7-game winning streak, they'd only given up 65 points a game. The opponents had only shot 29% from 3, but not today. Kansas State, 8 threes made. They're shooting 62% from three-point range.
It is a team that came into this game as percentage-wise the worst three-point shooting team in the Big 12. They only make 31% for the year, and so just a shooting explosion by the Wildcats. You know, they've been the tougher team from the beginning. Texas has come in here. They started out flat. They weren't tough taking care of the basketball. Uncharacteristically had all those turnovers in the first half. And look, Kansas State just jumped all over them. This is the foul they're looking for. Look at the bottom of the screen. They're just confirming it's on Gibson. And so Cameron, they're calling Prince eBay. Who was the foul? Did they call it on Gibson?
They did call it on Gibson. That would only be his first foul. And eBay missing the front end of a 1-and-1 with that rain-making style he's got. They switched it. Nino Williams got the Williams on the foul.
Okay, so it wasn't on Gibson over there. That was a travel.
That was like a ping pong match. Now they're going to say the touch Southwell last.
Yeah, that's the right call. Ricocheted 2 or 3 times. If it was the last 2 minutes of the game, the officials could review this, but you can't at this point. Watch it. Ricochets off both of them. Yeah, he came back and hit Southwell when he's standing out of bounds, and Bruce wasn't looking at that part of the play. Good pass ahead.
Boom. Foster, 29.
What a great pass ahead by Shane Southwell.
And Texas cannot finish at the rim. Foster. Foster has 31 of the 64 K-State points. The league silences the crowd with a 3, but this performance by Foster reminds you of a Jacob Pullen type performance or a Steve Henson.
Or Jawan Staten last week, the 35 points he had for West Virginia.
Same kind of player. Now he's going to the basket. And he's done it all over the floor. He had 3 first-half threes, but in the second half, it's rim time for Foster. A career-high 31. Now this from Phillips, 66. Well, this is the stunner, Doug. K-State 64-41 over Texas. Reed, Kansas State has outscored Texas. Points off turnovers, 24-2.
16 turnovers by the Longhorns. Marcus Foster, 32 points. He's gone cold.
Those were his first 2 free throws of the day. He scored 31 without shooting a free throw.
Jeez.
We said at the outset of the game it was a day for resume building. It's like getting a call from the president to hire you. I mean, this is a big-time resume builder for K-State.
It's a great win. They came into this game at risk of losing 4 out of 5 games, playing the hottest team in the Big 12, struggling offensively, and they have just dominated this basketball game.
And here's what's odd. They have done it without a point from Thomas Gibson.
Who led them in scoring in the first matchup, had 24 points.
That was a career high. All right, standings now. Kansas playing West Virginia later. They'll come here on Big Monday. But what does this do to Texas now, pushing them back a game and a half behind Kansas?
You know, that's kind of a trick question. It's incredibly damaging if you're talking about winning the Big 12. If you're talking about the ultimate goal of starting a new streak, getting to the NCAA tournament, not that much.
Floater, Martez Walker gets a bucket.
You know, let me tell you, the bigger question for Texas coming out of this game is not necessarily that they got beat, but how they got beat in that right knee of Jonathan Holt.
Gibson off the extra pass. It has been the extra pass, and Marcus Foster exploded. And K-State has put on a clinic defensively.
Yes, they have.
Holland, too little, too late. His second 3 of the game.
You know, as good as they've been offensively, what you just said is exactly right. They've been better defensively than they have on the offensive end.
Maury Lawrence travels with it.
You know, and it's interesting because those words are how you would describe the Wildcats all year long. Their defense has been better than their offense, but rarely has Bruce Weber seen an offensive explosion like they have here today.
Especially against a team statistically as good defensively as Texas.
Number 1 field goal percentage team in the Big 12. Prince Eades just simply can't catch the ball. He has bobbled everything that he has touched today. Oh, beautiful up and under.
Gibson goes down. They can't afford to get him hurt. Takes a shot to the face. Keep in mind, they got a big Monday matchup against Kansas here in just a matter of hours, and he took a shot. And with the new concussion prevention highlight, I mean, the guidelines.
You'd rather him get hit in the nose than in the head. Yeah, he just came down across his face. I mean, he doesn't want to get hit in the face, but if you're Bruce Weber and you say he's going to take a blow, you'd rather be a glancing blow down the face than an elbow to the temple.
Shaggy's all right. And he has yielded to Marcus Foster today, the freshman, with 32 points, the most by a K-State freshman since Michael Beasley had 33 against Colorado 6 years ago. Log on to Big12Sports.com and check out the Big 12 Network announcer blogs. This week, Mark Neely makes his case on why this league is the best conference in the nation, with a look back at the season and to what's ahead for the conference teams.
You know, the reason we talk so much about the best conference, the conference RPI does not factor into the selection committee's criteria, but what it does is it allows the selection committee to look at a team that's potentially under 500, a team that's 8-10, like Illinois in the Big Ten last year when the Big Ten was number one in the RPI. So you start talking about the number of teams that can get bids, and right now Joe Lunardi this morning had 6 teams, and it's not out of the question to have 7, especially if that RPI stays at number 1.
Here's the other chip on the table for this league. They're number 1 in strength of schedule. So if you look back at the body of work for this league since November, you know, sometimes leagues kick it in, but this league is number 1 in SOS.
Yeah.
That will also get the committee's attention because this league's scheduled up for many cases.
Did we have West Virginia on that graphic? I mean, we had Baylor down there, and Baylor's going to have to beat some people to get to 8-10. And I'll tell you what, it is amazing how good this conference is.
And the coaching in this league looks like a committee meeting of the National Association of Basketball Coaches.
Well, if you're going to talk about most likely to get bids, right now West Virginia is certainly in that conversation.
Foster will set and listen to the ovation.
Was he good today?
Going to be on DJ Johnson underneath.
You know who's quietly had a really good game? Is that young man, DJ Johnson. He has been physical. He has been strong. He has been a presence. He's matched Texas's strength inside, and well, he has been physical, and I think he has played. I think when you go back and watch the film of this game, Bruce Weber and that coaching staff is going to be very pleased with how that young man played.
Very important for K-State down the stretch, but for DJ Johnson to give them solid minutes. And we got Division I football offers coming out of St. Louis.
He's got Antonio Gates written all over him.
Chris Lowry does a great job of recruiting St. Louis on Bruce Weber's staff. 70-47 K-State.
Wow. Did not see this.
And there's your man. How about that play by DJ Johnson? He hedges on Taylor and almost knocks him to the football stadium. And Martez Walker with a hustle play. See that hedge by Johnson? You run into him, you know you're getting hedged.
And Bruce Weber's furious with that shot. It's a really good time for Nigel Johnson to go make a positive play because Bruce was furious with him. He's pointing at him right now saying, get over here.
We'll find the football guy and get it to him under the basket. What a day for Kansas State. This will be on the highlight tape.
Boy, Doug, he is in the conversation. DeAndre Kane may take some votes from him, but he is certainly in the conversation. If you had to pick a top 5 right now for an all-conference team,
good luck.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to wait till the list comes out and then point out who's not on it.
Brandon can do that. Our Wendy's Wooden Watch coming up here as Texas gets the bucket. The K-State, they have outscored UT in the paint 34-16. That might be the most stunning stat in the country today.
Well, they have been so efficient with the basketball. 21 assists on 28 field goals. Wesley with 8 points, and he has got 8 assists to just 1 turnover to go along with 3 steals. Another unsung hero of this basketball game.
There's a Wandu. Brian Roletter in the game now for K-State out of Wichita. A little spurt by Martez Walker in the second half for the Hornets.
Still talking about a Wandu. He's one of those kids. You talk to NBA scouts, and they see lots in this kid. Maybe not that play. They see lots in this kid that they like.
Let's take a look at our today's Wendy's Wooden Watch as promised.
Now remember, you can play your way onto this list as well as your way off. Victor Oladipo was not, who won it last year, was not on the midseason list. And so Joel Embiid is not on this list and should be. And there's a lot of players. Certainly all 3 of those young men are worthy for consideration. But the list isn't final by any stretch of the imagination.
There's a Wandu. You mentioned him. A year to get stronger, but he's skilled, very skilled, and he seems to have a nice pace to his game.
In variety, you know, I mean, he can knock down shots outside. He's a slasher, and today we've seen him be a facilitator and passer. 8 assists, 1 turnover. Is an outstanding basketball game. A worthy heir to the Shane Southwell point forward position.
Ryan Schultz in now for K-State as well. As they clean the bench, Sean Myers, well, he's a Kansas City kid. Schultz is out of the Wichita area from Mays. Hasn't been Nigel Johnson's best day. Time now to announce our Motel 6 sixth man of the game, and it's Nino Williams, the junior from Leavenworth, Kansas. And again, good minutes for Bruce Weber.
Yeah, and solid numbers, not spectacular. But remember the first half, Texas went to that 2-3 zone, and Nino Williams just absolutely picked it apart. He was at the elbow, he was in the short corner, and big, important points, those 8.
Our sixth man brought to you by Motel 6. You know, it's interesting with him. K-State rarely plays DJ Johnson together with Thomas Gibson. When they sub at that big spot, Williams has to give them some minutes. Now, he's undersized at 6'5", but he's got the girth and pace to his game. He really, when they're playing their best, Williams gives them good games. He had 15 here in a home win against Oklahoma State and 10 against OU.
So important that your role players play their roles.
And a travel by Sean Meyer. K-State will not have long to celebrate. They get ready for Kansas here on Monday night. Kansas playing West Virginia later today in Lawrence. And UT will try to recover. They play Tuesday night at home against Oklahoma State. How about OSU? You talk about challenges they faced, and then losing that multi-overtime game to Iowa State. Wow.
Lost 4 out of 5. We saw Iowa State go on a similar slide. We've seen Baylor go on that slide, and we have now seen Kansas State avoid that slide.
OSU's going into a sold-out crowd tonight in Lubbock, Texas.
Ooh, man. Let me tell you something. Texas Tech can beat you. That is going to be a tough challenge for Travis Ford and his Cowboys.
Quite an afternoon for Bruce Weber and Kansas State. They own Texas this game. They had the entire game all day long. They led by 21 at half and never looked back. Marcus Foster, a career-high 34 points for the freshman from Wichita Falls, Texas. Final score, K-State 74, and the 15th-ranked Texas Longhorns 57. Let's go to Studio 66 with Doug Bell and Brendan Manzer. For Reed Geddes, I'm Mitch Holtis. Good afternoon from Manhattan, Kansas.
Mitch, thank you. DeAndre Kane, he's getting loose. He could be a player of the year, Ken.
Marcus, you just put your name in the record books along with Michael Beasley, pretty elite company. What was happening out on the floor to allow you to get so many shots?
You know, my teammates were finding me. They found out early that I was hot, and so my teammates have found me. That's why I have one of the best teammates in the world, you know. They just keep pushing me for greatness.
As good as y'all were offensively, I thought you were just as good defensively. What were the keys to the game? Why were y'all so successful, especially keeping Isaiah Taylor out of the paint?
We just had to get back to pressuring people and do what we do best. We were winning 10 games in a row when we were pressuring full court, and we weren't backing down to anybody.
Hey, you came into this game, you'd lost 3 out of 4. Some people said, oh, they're reeling. They were close games. What was your mindset coming into this game, and then where does that go as you have Kansas coming in on Monday?
We just have to get back to how we're supposed to play basketball, and we came out here with high intensity, high energy. We got the win, and we have to bring the same thing Monday against KU.
All right, thank you very much. We'll go back to you, Doug.
All right, guys, thank you. Marcus Foster, 34, and look at the shot chart, Brendan. He got some good looks today, didn't he?
That's pretty good, but good mixture. I mean, he's 5 of 8 from 3. He was 8 of 8 inside the arc, and so that's what made him so difficult, has made him so difficult all season long, is his ability to score on many areas of the floor. Got the line a couple times. You know, he shoots it well, but also I think under Bruce Weber's tutelage, he's learned to play away from the basketball, and that's helped him get some good looks also.
I'm surprised you saw the shot chart. He got a lot of good looks in the paint, and that's where Texas is strong.
Well, you know, this was basically two teams, two of the top 3 defensive teams, in my opinion, in the league, if you add Kansas to that. And it was going to come down to who guarded the best, who forced the turnovers to create some offensive opportunities, and K-State was the better of the two. Hey, Texas has played very well. This is just life in the Big 12.
Yep,
you're talking about a league that is the best from top to bottom, and it's a true round robin. And so very difficult league to play in. Texas will be fine.